If you're looking to buy, sell, or rent in the South Jersey area, give Dave Birnbaum a call with RE/MAX Community, 856-524-2927, and buy with Burn.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the debut episode of Ringside Seat Wrestling Talk on the Sports Box. I am your host, Brian Attard, along with the man, the myth, the legend, Anthony Marella. Anthony, a little too sweet right there. Woo. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm phenomenal.
You know what I'm ready for?
What are you ready for?
I'm ready for the Royal Rumble.
You know what? It's about time. We've wrestling for the past couple of months actually has been pretty damn terrible. And we're going to start talking about that right on the get-go here. But first, I want to shout out to our sponsor. Hashtag Buy with Burn, Dave Birnbaum from RE/MAX Community. If you live in the South Jersey area, looking to buy, sell, rent, whatever you need, Dave can take care of you. Give Dave a call, 856-524-2927, and Buy with Burn. We know we love Dave.
I bought with Burn, best choice ever made. Got a great deal for us guys, seriously. Give him a call if you're looking for a home or you're looking to sell. And also don't forget about, these two go hand in hand, but Chris Wilhelm with Gateway Loans, Gateway Mortgage.
Absolutely.
Did my loan, did Brian's loan. Does an excellent job, is there for you 24/7, whatever you need. Two great guys. You can't ask for anything more if that's what you're looking to do.
Absolutely. And this was a really interesting week. So, we spoke a little bit off air. We both kind of got really excited getting ready for Raw this week.
Anybody did.
Yeah, Raw kind of, going into the night, it had that feeling of, it's Raw 25, they're doing it two different arenas, you just thought that something big was going to happen.
So much nostalgia.
Right, but you just figured they would just do something.
This was the episode. If they were going to do anything, this was the episode to do it. And I don't know how you felt, but it almost felt like a punch to the stomach.
It was a 3.5 hour show that felt like 7.
Yep.
The fact that you have to labor through watching what should be a really exciting, action-filled, storyline-driven night.
Yeah.
And it ended up being god-awful.
About the best, what's sad is that when the best thing that happened that night is when you bring back a guy that hasn't wrestled in 16 years, Stone Cold. And I love Stone Cold more than the next person does, but there should be more to that. He should be like the nostalgic, like I mentioned earlier, the nostalgic portion of it, him and Taker, bring back The Rock, whoever you were going to bring back. And that was the highlight. That shouldn't be the case in wrestling today.
No, so we're going to kind of go through the show a little bit, and bear with us, because there were a couple things that just really boggled my mind. Mm-hmm. And by a couple, I mean a lot. Mm-hmm. So, the show had a great start. Probably the best start you could. By the way, Brian Hess mentioned you have a nice hat on today.
Thank you, Brian. Go Eagles. Super Bowl in a week and 9 days now, so.
And he's a happy guy.
I'm a very happy person.
Me not so much.
Hopefully I'll be happier in 9 days.
Me not so much, but it is what it is. I have no control over it. So the start of the show, Vince McMahon gets brought out by Shane and Stephanie.
Yes.
They present him with this plaque, and Vince goes into old school, I hate the crowd, I did it all myself, yada, yada, yada. Really nicely done from the standpoint of that nostalgia act.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, the glass breaks. And everybody goes wild. Biggest pop I think I've heard in a while. Steve Austin comes out, and Steve Austin doesn't say a word.
No.
The entire segment long doesn't say a damn thing.
Nope.
All he does is, Vince is like, hey, I'm an old guy now. Can't do this anymore like we used to.
AARP, it was phenomenal.
Retirement home.
Yep.
Just really, really good stuff. He's, basically Vince gives Shane his tribute.
Yep.
He's like,
yep.
Here, Shane, go give Steve a shunner. There you go. Number 1.
Boom, did it, done.
Starts drinking beers, looks all great. Stunner to Vince, crowd goes wild. Give another stunner to Vince, crowd goes wild.
Stunner to Shane.
Yeah, and again, that 10, 15 minutes, if you decided to turn the show off right there, would have been
everything.
The best decision of your night.
Yes,
certainly. The absolute best decision of your night. Because really, that was the peak of the show.
Yeah.
It really went down after that.
How about the poor bastards that went to the Manhattan Center and saw 2 matches and The Undertaker come out?
Yeah, there were a lot of people. If you look at Twitter, a lot of upset. They've put a lot of money to go to the Manhattan Center for that side of Raw 25.
You should never have to demand a refund from the WWE.
No, It was bad. There was nothing going on there. Apparently, there wasn't even any kind of Like you couldn't see what was going on at Barclays.
No.
You couldn't see any of it. And I know a lot of our friends actually went up there to the Barclays side, not too happy with everything.
What do you do during that filler time? You're sitting there. What do you do?
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, I would have wanted wrestlers to come out and have a meet and greet or something. There's got to be something that you do to fill that time. People pay all that money. I get it. You're in the arena that hosted the very first Raw and many after.
Yep.
It was great for, I'm going to mention this word a million times between now and the end of the show, but nostalgia.
Yep.
And you basically sat there and you looked around and you're like, wow, this is so cool. And that was it. That was the highlight of your night, being in that arena. Not, The Undertaker came out and talked for, I think, 3.5 minutes. Jim Ross was there, Jerry the King Lawler. Again, great for nostalgia. But that was it. Like I said, it was a sucker punch. It really was.
It got you thinking they were going somewhere.
Yes.
You know?
I thought something big. 25th anniversary of Raw, at the place that it all started, I thought something huge was going to happen. I thought somebody from another wrestling promotion was going to come out, make their debut. Something. Just give me something. I don't care how small it is, how big it was. Just give me something.
But
I had nothing to feed off.
But you think back to Raw 1000, which is the last time they really had one of these big things.
Yes.
You had a CM Punk heel turn, basically. Yep. Gives The Rock go to sleep. A lot of different things that they did in that show. There was a championship match on that show. It was, with Cena and Punk.
Yeah.
So they had you ready for something and just never, ever gave it to you. Danielle says Stone Cold with the beer is obviously a great moment there. Frankie Bajada, let's go Rangers. Love you, buddy. Justin, Stone Cold, best shape ever. Ready for one more? Boy, that would be a welcome sight these days, right?
And yes, Dan, I am a beast.
And Dan's a beast. We'll get a little bit of XFL talk. I know Joe Gonzalez. I was hoping CM Punk was going to come back. I hope that every day of my life, and I'm probably not going to get there. So we'll see. Brian Hess might be saving big debuts, returns for the Rumble. We'll talk a little bit about that. We're going to get into a Rumble preview once we get through Raw, but like I said, you think about after the Austin McMahon segment, when I say it really went downhill, it went downhill in a big way. There was a backstage segment with Jonathan Coachman, Teddy Long, Brother Love.
Cool. How many times have we seen that?
The Boogeyman shows up. Literally nothing was accomplished.
Teddy Long comes out every year. That doesn't do anything for me.
Holla.
Every year when they want a new GM. Every single year, Teddy Long finds a way into the storyline somehow, some way. Great. I'm tired of seeing Teddy Long. No offense.
I'm talking to a lot of these guys.
Let me touch on what Hess said real fast.
Right,
might be saving big debuts and returns for the Rumble. That absolutely should be an element of the Rumble. But started off, no better way to start that off than at Raw last week. I mean, give us one of them. I'm sure you have 3 or 4. Give us one. Give us something to be excited about for the Rumble. Gave me nothing.
And to that point, and Joe, no, Hogan was not there. That's another missed opportunity.
Yes.
But here's the thing, too. Not only was this Raw 25, this was the go-home Raw leading into the Royal Rumble.
Yes, right.
So it's not just like some run-of-the-mill...
Rumble Sunday.
Yeah, right. It's not like some run-of-the-mill show that was like in the middle of... It was a big show.
Right. Give me Sunday Night Heat or something if you're going to do that. Give me that to lead up into the Royal Rumble. I didn't need that Raw. Raw was so wasted, it wasn't even funny, and Hogan absolutely should have been there.
Absolutely.
That was the perfect time to mend fences. Guys, drop the ball big time. Come on.
First time you saw the Manhattan Center was The Undertaker coming out.
Mm-hmm. Great start. Awesome.
But it was real weird. It was a weird promo, Ant, because...
No lights.
But he didn't say anything.
Right.
So we're expecting, again, whether you like it or not, there's always a talk around this time of year is we'll take a wrestler WrestleMania, and so much was given, will they do some storylines leading into Mania starting that night?
Right.
Undertaker's promo was basically nothing. It was, I've buried so many people, you can stay rested. You said nothing.
Yeah, I know.
So you got people paying $800 to see The Undertaker, and trust me, they enjoyed it. He didn't say anything. There was nothing from that.
You couldn't even turn the lights off in that place and have him make somewhat of a... You could have at least drugged that entrance on to make it feel like The Undertaker was actually coming out. He came out, lights on, everything. He did a rest in peace. He told you who he buried, like Brian said. And that was it. Nothing about, hey, I'm retiring. That was my last match. This is going to be my last match at the next WrestleMania. Nothing that gave us any indication that he was done wrestling. Like I said, it's just a bottom-feeding emptiness of that Raw. That's what Raw was. It was awful.
Mike and Sal, we'll talk about, Rumble debuts later on in the show. We're still getting through Raw here. But so after the Undertaker promo, which again, nothing was accomplished.
Stick around, Mike.
Then we go to the Acolyte, the APA poker game, it's nostalgia, everybody's great. And all of a
That is
sudden,
the word of the night, by the way, guys.
Nostalgia.
We're gonna beat it to death.
all of a sudden you see the $1 Million Man come in, and I enjoyed that.
Awesome.
I was a big
Great
DiBiase mark,
part.
so I enjoyed that as well. Just plops down a stack of hundreds and says, "I'm taking this down,"
and then has a royal flush. Perfect. Perfect send off for the $1 Million Man.
They have this general manager, and they did this a couple times. Like when they bring a couple guys out, they brought out Laurinaitis, brought out Steven Regal. I love seeing Eric Bischoff. I loved everything. I loved everything the guy did. So I was a fan of that. And then Daniel Bryan.
Right.
Now, that may lead something. So the part that stood out to me is Daniel Bryan getting that stare down with The Miz. And what could that be foreshadowing? And we're going to get to that in the Rumble preview for sure. But that was something that really, at least that seemed like, up to that point, at least something that you could build from.
Yeah, absolutely. That kind of gave us, where are they going here?
Yeah, that was done for a reason. I firmly believe that.
But no, wait, hold on. Knowing WWE, probably not.
But you know what? I can't disagree with you. All right,
continue.
Maybe they had it there, so maybe they might at some point do something with that segment.
Right.
Yes. Maybe, and we'll touch on that. So
we have a lot to cover.
Yeah,
so.
championship match, Intercontinental title. Miz ends up winning it from Roman Reigns, which really scares the hell out of me for a lot of reasons. Obviously, for those people who remember the Royal Rumble in Philadelphia, we were all there. Roman Reigns wins. Place is booing. The Rock couldn't even save it. That's how bad it was.
That is horrible when The Rock can't save it.
So, now that Reigns doesn't have a belt, that really opens them up for something else. God forbid.
I think that's what they want us to think, honestly. I mean...
God, I hope you're right.
They might not be smart enough, like we are, to notice that.
Smart marks right here.
But yeah, that's probably what they're doing.
I hope it's
all pissed off for no reason. He'll probably be one of the last people in the match, too, guaranteed.
I hope it's a head fake.
Yeah,
I really do, because I don't want to see that again. At all.
Nobody does.
No. They go back to the poker game again. You see the Usos show up. Montel Vontavious Porter, MVP's there. Jeff Hardy's there. For some reason, I can't figure out.
Where's Matt?
Whatever. Matt wasn't there.
Matt where is Matt?
Yeah.
Doing all this.
Christian comes back, does a peep show with Seth Rollins and Jake Jordan.
Whom?
Jordan got booed hard.
Yes.
Jordan got booed really hard. Jordan got booed.
Because he's another guy like Roman Reigns that WWE is trying to shove down our throats, and we don't want it. Let it develop. Let it happen. It happened with Stone Cold. It happened with Shawn Michaels. These aren't guys that they shoved down our throat. It actually, they took their opportunity and they ran with it, and it happened naturally. It's not somebody they're like, well, this guy, he's predestined to be the next big star. Here it is. I hope you guys like it. We don't want that. That's not what the WWE crowd wants. At least I don't. I know Brian doesn't. I know most of you watching don't.
Yep.
Stop giving us stuff we don't want.
I don't think they know how to give us stuff that we do.
Right. That's the problem. That's the whole entire problem with wrestling nowadays. The writing is horrendous. They think they know what we want, but it's all about trying to keep it user-friendly, trying to... I don't know. They outthink themselves. Put it that way.
Hard. Oh yeah, and there's no consistency.
They don't know how to book anymore.
No.
Booking is a thing of the past. That is a talent that is
no consistency at all. James Minnock says, Jason Jordan is a heel though. Yeah, I know, but it's still. I just don't think that the booing. I don't feel is like heat booing. Like if you go back to Reigns after WrestleMania, where that was an epic night where. A lot of boos. Couldn't get the mic to his mouth. They just boo, 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 boo. And it was a good crowd for that. But it wasn't, we don't like your character. It's, we don't like you.
Right.
And, Jordan is, the Jordan Rollins thing, I think they just kind of threw something together after Dean got hurt, after Ambrose got hurt. So, I don't know. I mean, that didn't really do anything for me. Backstage, you see the women's champions, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair. I never really realized, I guess I probably should have, how much taller Charlotte is than Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
You saw Rick. I love seeing Rick. You can put Rick on TV as often as you want to.
As long as he's talking and doing this and wooing, and Perfect. Yeah, keep it going.
And it's kind of funny, thinking about your hat right now. You know what they say? Woo! To be the man,
you've got to beat the man, and you got to beat Tom Brady.
We'll see.
I don't want to diverge from that.
That's fine. So it ends up back at Manhattan Center. You have a match between Bray Wyatt, Woken Matt Hardy. Makes no sense. Mm-mm. It makes no sense, Anthony, because they've been pushing Matt Hardy now. They finally are able to use this broken or Woken gimmick and all of these things that are... I mean, like... You tried, like it wasn't working. You finally got the clearance, and here's what you do with it. Yeah, what the hell is wrong with you?
We both knew they were going to screw that up. Come on, they were given literally a character on a golden plate. Mm-hmm. Here you go, do whatever you want with it. What did you think they were going to do with it? They're like a little kid who gets a thing of Play-Doh, and they're like, "Oh, cool, let me throw it all over the place and put it underneath the cushion couch of the couch." And it's like they have no idea what to do with a good character anymore. That's what I was talking about with booking. Not a clue. And this isn't let's just bash the WWE. Other promotions do it. They don't, TNA, they're famous for it. But I feel like it was here with guys like Jim Cornette and Bruce Pritchard and all them guys, and then it's
a different time.
Started going down.
Different
down,
audience,
down.
different, MO.
You were allowed to do a lot more back then. I understand they're restricted. But you can write a good show and still follow the restrictions. It's really, I feel like I can do it. I really do. I wish somebody would give me a chance. I know, Brian, you could.
I can make them I can make them millions of dollars. Yes. Millions of dollars. But, again, to me, what didn't make any sense about this match, I mean, the fact that it was at Manhattan Center, I mean, I guess I get to give them something.
Well, first of all, I guess, yeah. But neither of them have, that should have been preserved for people that have, like I hate to say it, but somebody like Goldust, who was probably around back then, or at least coming onto the scene, should have been preserved for guys. I would have liked to have seen like an older match, two guys that I don't even care if they're old and beat up. Trying to think of somebody, for example, not Razor or anybody like that. Somebody that's like somewhat newer that can still maybe put a match on. I don't know who, but I would have liked to see something like that.
Here's the problem I have.
X-Pac could have freaking wrestled for all I cared.
Ignore the fact that it was just a really awkward scenario to have that match at Manhattan Center.
Yeah.
Why are you burying Matt Hardy?
Yes, right.
Why? Like you're finally in a situation where you've been fighting for this gimmick. You brought them in to use it. You're finally go ahead.
Robbie the Brain Heenan. I don't know if any of you guys follow him on Twitter.
That real good Twitter right there.
Don't go do it now as we're talking. He said when they actually got clearance to use the Broken Hardy character, he was like, this is actually going to take WWE ratings from here all the way to the top, the kind of potential it has. And I hate to say it, but it almost looks like he's eating his words now because they're just, like you said.
Well, because they're blowing it.
They're not doing anything with it.
But that's the thing is, I really feel they're giving him creative control, which he needs to run that character.
Right.
But they're just not... He's doing his part.
Right.
But they're not doing theirs. They're not putting him in the proper parts of the show.
Didn't see that, Mike.
No. Well, there's like a 10-second delay, just so you know, Mike. Anyway. But everything there, they're not doing their part of putting him in the proper situations where he can make the most of that character.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And like you said, silver platter. They didn't have to build that.
They're probably giving him creative control, but within a very tight set of guidelines. They have to.
Yeah, but it seems like they're just giving...
It's not like go out there, CM Punk, here's your microphone, say whatever the hell you want. They're not doing that with Matt Hardy.
I would disagree with you there. I will tell you why. Because, literally, I don't think there's anybody in WWE that can even explain that Matt Hardy character.
That's true. It's a good point.
I don't think that they have any idea. I think they're just like, you know what? This worked elsewhere. Do what you got to do.
Okay. But I'm sure they're, like, unlike with Punk, times have changed even more so from... few years ago.
James Minnock, don't worry, no one will remember that match, so they'll repeat it on the pre-show.
Yeah, great.
That's true.
Awesome.
And to your point, James, how bad is that? No one's going to remember that, you know? And Bray Wyatt, who just seems to be lost on shuffle all the time.
Ooh, good point by Justin Pagic. The Bullet Club.
Yeah, well, we'll see. They're at the end of the show, or whatever they're calling themselves, the Balor Club, whatever.
Balor Club.
We'll talk a little bit about that.
But, what a great opportunity for... a couple guys to... We will talk about this, but there are guys that I can see evolving into.
We foreshadow here on Ringside Seat.
We're going to save the best for last.
So after that match, just like they did with the GMs, they brought the women and the divas out. Brought out the Bellas, Maurice, Lillian Garcia, Jacqueline was there. Tori Wilson, who still looks like she looks like she did 10 years ago. God bless her.
Yeah, she does.
Michelle McCool, Undertaker's wife. Terry Runnels. Maria Kanellis was there.
Yeah.
Trish. Obviously got the
Maria Kanellis has been here.
Yeah, but she, there for that reason. She's pregnant. They're all pregnant now.
Is she really?
Yep. Trish Stratus, Big Pop, no Lita.
Of course.
No Lita.
I know, I was surprised by that.
No Lita. And I think a lot of people, were like...
She should team back up with the Hardys. That would be fantastic.
The only thing I can think of with Lita is they kind of want to keep her off screen for maybe like a surprise Rumble entrance because that made no sense. She was on the commemorative chair.
You're right, yeah. Yes, she was.
You think of Raw25, even though the last 15 years have sucked, you think of the first 10 that were good, or actually, the first 2... Then they sucked for a couple. Then they came back in 97, 98, whatever. It was her and Trish. It was her with the Hardys. Yeah. I mean,
that's the best women's rivalry ever.
Absolutely. And they main evented Raw. And that was a big thing back then.
Yes.
So for her to not be part of the show, I think was a travesty. Her and Trish revolutionized before this women's revolution. They were the ones that really put, I think, women's wrestling on the map. For sure.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
And you got still people like that. That's what kind of shocks me is that you still have women like Mickie James, for example, doing her thing, but we can't get Lita. Like, of all people, I would just love to see Lita and Mickie James kind of switch places. But go ahead.
Yeah, anyway. And Joe Gonzalez says, should have brought out Deborah. Ooh, she's around somewhere. Sable is married to Brock Lesnar. Now, the problem with Sunny is Sunny's taken her WWE fame and gone a different direction.
She's eating it away.
Yeah, so here's the problem with that. Given the fact that she's now doing some adult things, I'll put it that way.
They're not ever going to.
They're not going to bring her back ever. There was a lot of talk as to, China, obviously, when she left, she did Playboy, she did some pornographic work, so that was a reason why
she was never coming back.
She wasn't coming back.
Trips mentioned her the other night during the DX segment, which I was shocked about. Thinking, I wonder what Steph's thinking about that.
Well, she's dead now. I mean, I think that you can put her in the Hall of Fame now, and I think it's okay. I think people, I think a posthumous thing overdoes what she did after.
That's true.
In my opinion.
I just wasn't expecting her to say her. They could have just left it to Rick Rude.
Could have.
Okay.
No, they could have. Mike Velarde, Trips. His favorite way of doing things. So, a big surprise to me. So they had a segment in the back, Elias with the guitar, and there's Chris Jericho.
Bass.
There was Chris Jericho. And I gotta tell you, I think I kind of woke up when I saw him wearing the Alpha Club shirt. Because, this whole thing with Kenny Omega over in New Japan, guys, if you haven't yet seen that match, I highly encourage you. Look it up somewhere on YouTube. I don't care where you find it. That Omega-Jericho match was unbelievable.
Top-notch.
So different than anything you see in WWE.
Which proves that you can still... Listen, I understand they can do more over in Japan, but not that much more.
Yeah.
It proves that you can still do excellent booking in wrestling. You really can. You need a good storyline. You need good characters. That's all. It's really not that hard. They have they've had such an influx of talent the last couple of years. It really shouldn't be as hard as it is. Just bring back all the old school writers. I don't even care if you bring back. People are going to shoot me for this, but Vince Russo, bring him back. I don't care. Let him
Russo swerve.
Yeah, let him do something with all this talent. I have a little bit of faith that he could.
But how surprised were you that you see him wearing a New Japan Pro Wrestling shirt live on Raw?
It was awesome. It was fantastic.
I agree with you, and I think
surprise, yes, absolutely, but in a good way. That's something I'm like, holy crap, is he really wearing that? That's great.
I think honestly that probably woke me up.
Mm-hmm.
And
Jerry the King Lawler too.
Yeah, Vince was really supportive of Jericho during the Omega. Yeah, and that's the thing. Danny, you bring up a good point. You got to wonder if they're trying at some point to position themselves to bring in Kenny Omega, because you really think about it, he is the biggest star that has never been in WWE.
Absolutely.
He would be a phenomenal Rumble surprise entrant. It's not going to happen.
Absolutely.
It's not going to happen.
And you know what? They really built up Jericho during all that NJPW stuff. So if they don't bring back Omega, fine. If Jericho is in the Royal Rumble, I'm going to go on record and say, and Hess, you're going to love this, watch out for him. He's a super dark horse.
To win?
Because he is he's what everybody's talking about right now, thanks to that match with Omega. and it would make sense. I don't know, him versus Styles again in a rematch of Styles' debut in WrestleMania.
Well, there's a lot that you can do with it, and I think
phenomenal.
I think WWE is trying to, as much as they can, piggyback off of the Omega Jericho match. All of a sudden now you see Finn Balor with Gallows and Anderson. You see them the Balor Club. You see him doing the Too Sweet. You see him doing the Bullet Club type stuff because they're trying to get the key off of that. And again, Brian Hess is just rocking out, yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby!
He is just rocking them out all over the place. I love when he does that. James Miller, WWE doesn't see NJPW as a threat. That's why they don't care. See, nobody really is a threat. And I don't think that, I can say him pretty wholeheartedly, there never will be a threat at this point. I think it's so ingrained that, who's going to come out to really, no one's going to watch New Japan the way people watch it.
Yeah, nobody's coming from over there unless it's Omega and coming here and being like, who's that? That would be my reaction if somebody from New Japan Pro Wrestling came over, if they're not named Kenny Omega, because really it's the only guy I know over there.
Well, Cody Rhodes. Cody.
Yes.
And it's funny. So
I thought he was in Ring of Honor.
No, well, they kind of do some of the same thing. So Cody went over there. He's a huge star now.
Yes.
They're using his wife, Brandy Rhodes, Eden Styles, for you WWE guys, in a better way.
Yep.
They do a lot more. I like what they're doing a lot more than what I see here. After the Elias, Jericho put him on the list.
Yes.
Which was fine. Elias and Cena in the ring. Cena came out to a very vociferous John Cena sucks.
Yes.
You got to love the Brooklyn crowd for that.
Strike up the band.
Yeah, and guitar shot to the head of John Cena. That's fine. I'm very happy.
So do you see that being a feud?
Sure. It's a feud where Cena will put Elias over.
Yeah,
and Mike Velarde says he likes to walk with Elias. I can't believe it took him a year to figure that out. The WWE and Walk with Elias at the same...
the guy's a star. Really. He's going to be a star.
Yeah,
He's
I
the
think
next thing. He's fantastic. He's probably the best on the mic right now, not named Chris Jericho or any of the guys that are already established.
I like Kevin Owens in that spot. I always have. I always have.
His gimmick is wearing thin, though, and that's why he's fumbling around with Sami Zayn right now. Elias is the next big thing. Mark it down. This time next year, Elias will be one of the favorites for the Rumble.
So they go back to the poker game. Again, totally useless. They have a backstage segment, Mark Henry the Godfather. Totally useless.
Stupid.
Slater and Rhino take on Titus and Apollo Crews. The Dudleys show up. What's up? It's the same stuff.
The funny thing about the Dudleys is they were a thing a year ago.
That's true.
They were in table matches and tag team title matches and whatnot. And by the way, Devon Dudley put on a hell of a lot of pounds. Did you see him? He couldn't even climb up the top rope. Come on, what are you doing over there?
Time is not kind to these guys.
Right, and they're probably off drugs and everything now, so it's just packing on.
Yeah.
But not to accuse anybody of doing drugs, and I don't know if you are, Devon, or if you did. But that's not. They didn't do anything for me again because, like I said, they were a thing not too long ago. Heck, we were at the Royal Rumble that Reigns won in Philly, and that's when Bubba came back out.
Right.
So that wasn't that long ago.
Actually, we had a Rumble pool. That was Mike Velarde's guy.
Right. If you're going to bring back people, please bring back. Yeah. Sorry, Mike. If you're going to bring back people, bring back people that we haven't seen in forever.
Well, then you saw AJ Styles with Mean Gene Okerlund, which I think was nice.
Yeah, that was cool.
I never understood why they don't use Mean Gene more.
Yeah. Or the Fink. The Fink is the best ring announcer to ever grace this planet.
So true.
Come on. Bring him on once in a while. Let him do a big match. Let him do the WrestleMania main event.
So true. They go back to the Manhattan Center. You see a DX reunion with Scott Hall. And really, that was just strange to me. There's a lot of things I didn't like about this segment.
Okay.
Number one, I understand that, the click and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only reason that Scott Hall came out with DX was because Kevin Nash couldn't be there. For NWL.
Right. Yeah, why was that? Because my uncle...
He had an injury. I think it was his knees. He couldn't fly, something.
Okay, my Uncle Scott said earlier Kevin Nash should have been there too, and I agree. But like Brian said, I guess that was the reason. I don't know.
But it's kind of like...
I don't follow Kevin Nash's life that closely.
But it was done so strange. That's why Scott Hall was there. Scott Hall comes out, they go to commercial.
I know.
Immediately.
Yeah,
before
he even got in the ring.
He doesn't get...
I thought maybe because I was like, okay, maybe this is where he needs assistance getting up the steps. But
he doesn't get 6 steps out of that curtain before they go to commercial. I'm pretty sure it still said Scott Hall at the bottom of the screen when they went to commercial.
Probably.
It was ridiculous.
That was something Ring of Honor would do.
No, they're not that dumb.
You're probably right. That's something CZW would do.
Oh, and so then the Outlaws come out, right? So, and I've always had a problem with this. So Road Dogg stopped saying, "Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody." So he can't say ass. He just says, "So you couldn't call somebody." Then he says, "Cut the damn music." And then he says, "Badass Billy Gunn." So why exactly can you not say ass like you did your entire career, and all of a sudden that you... What? Just someone explain that to me. What's the point?
Yeah. This is really a WWE bash fest, isn't it?
Well, that's pretty much the most wrestling talk is anymore these days because it's not a good product anymore.
Yeah, if you go around and listen to any podcast, it's going to be like, why didn't you do this and why didn't you do that?
You know what it is? Because it's nostalgia. We want it to be what it was when we were kids, when it was great.
Yep.
We need to make wrestling great again, and it's not happening.
We know it can be. Like I mentioned earlier, there's so much youth and so much talent.
Dan Bakley didn't say welcome to the Doghouse.
Yeah.
You know,
come on.
Joe Gonzalez. I thought Billy Gunn was fired. Yeah, everybody gets fired. Everybody gets brought back. You know, he's like this with Triple H.
Except Hogan.
Yeah, right. So they bring up they do the Balor Club versus the Revival. Everybody gets finishers of the Revival.
Boring.
Dumb, stupid. I've seen pedigrees and super kicks. And
I actually turned it off during
that,
and I may have went to the bathroom or something.
Yeah, you missed the end. So at the end, again, some more stupidity. So Kurt Angle.
What?
The after that.
Oh, no, I turned it back on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, continue.
So,
Sorry.
So Kurt Angle comes out.
That match.
They make a human shield in the ring of all these superstars. They bring out Strowman, and they bring out Kane, and they put them on opposite sides of the ring. And there's all these people keeping them apart, right? And all of a sudden, Brock Lesnar comes out with Heyman, and the human shield just walks out of the ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the hell are you doing? What is the point of having 10, 12 guys? Right? And then it's funny because you see like Strowman turn around. He's like, oh, they're gone. Starts beating up Kane. Lesnar shows up. Why bury the Revival? So dumb. Best new team in the company. Preacher to the choir. But I don't disagree with you. They have a future. No, I agree with that. I don't disagree.
I'm not that high on them.
As bad as the tag team divisions, if Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin have a damn title match at the Royal Rumble, I want to see their Revival. So I get that point entirely.
Okay.
But so you're this final thing, the blow off until Royal Rumble, and you see Strowman put Lesnar through a table.
Yeah.
Okay, so that
We've
means
seen that already.
So we know Strowman's not winning the match.
Right.
We know that because obviously that's their MO.
Because they get their laugh. Yep. You get the last laugh at the Rumble.
Yep.
We know what's going to happen. Listen, Lesnar's going to main event WrestleMania. We just don't know who it's going to be against. And there has been rumors.
Yes, we do.
There have been rumors for literally about 2 years now.
We do.
That it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, which we saw 2 years ago, funny enough. What is...
Rest 31, right? Yeah.
Guys, please comment if you can answer me this question. What does Roman Reigns bring to the table that WWE sees that we don't see? Please, go ahead and type away. I would love to see your responses to this.
They want to make the next Cena.
Anybody, come on.
No, they want to make the next Cena. They need a guy.
Okay, but it's not working. Turn him heel if you're going to do that.
You mean go by like The Rock?
Yes. Let him be The Rock incarnated. I don't care what you do. Turn the guy heel and let him do his thing.
So, summary of whoever's won the show now. I want to thank you for watching the debut episode of Ringside Seat. We just spent about a half hour or so going over Raw25. Horribly underwhelming. I would really love to have that, what felt like 6, but I guess was 3 hours of my life back. I could have turned it off after Austin and been perfectly fine.
Yes.
Just so much missed opportunity.
Yep. In a nutshell, it was a missed night.
So that leads
all the way through.
That leads us to the weekend.
That doesn't lead us to the weekend, but I know what you mean. Yes.
That's what's next up right now. So the weekend here. So obviously, a bunch of big shows in Philly this weekend. Philly is the center of the wrestling world. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. You got NXT Saturday night on TakeOver. You have the Rumble on Sunday, Raw Monday, SmackDown Tuesday. A lot of stuff going on.
All in Philadelphia, and for those who are going to, Mike and Savi, who are going to hound us for not going, let's look underneath our couch cushions and find some pennies to scrape together to go to this match. I'd actually rather just put it in my piggy
Well, here's
bank.
the difference. So we'll talk about who we think might win, might lose the Royal Rumble, and we're going to get to that in just a couple minutes here. But given the fact that the last Rumble that we all went to back in 2014 did not really end the way that anybody would have preferred.
Not only was it was fun, but not only was it disappointing, but it's only gotten more disappointing, and the prices have only gone up. So I'm going to pay basically double to watch worse stuff.
Mike and Salvi, if Daniel Baker's going to the Rumble, that's awesome, brother. Take
Good
pictures.
for you, Daniel.
If Mike and Salvi, if Roman was good to the mic, everyone would love him. Simple as that. It's his mic skills that killed him.
Absolutely.
Here's why I disagree with that. He has the dumbest, stupid finisher I have seen in wrestling in 10 years. That is the dumbest thing I have seen in wrestling in 10 years. He jumps at you, puts his arm back, and punches you in the face.
What's he doing before that?
I don't know. Spear? Fine.
He loads up.
Oh, yeah, he does this.
He really cocks off.
Oh, yeah, come on. People are so over that. It's
Can you imagine
dumb.
a full crowd of people doing this before they...
You know what? If he stopped doing this before punching somebody,
It'd be a little bit cooler.
yeah.
No, but you're
It's
right.
not.
No, his mic skills are awful. I completely agree with you, Mike. He's got some in-ring talent. I'm not going to deny it. He's somewhat innovative. I like the leg drop he does on the outside of the ring and everything, but the spear and the Superman punch have to go. They're staples of other people. Staples of everybody. So he has to turn heel for that reason, and he's got to be a badass Samoan and not talk. If they would have just done that for him from the very beginning, he would be a lot better and a lot cooler. Samoa Joe is a perfect example of that. He's not the best on the mic, he's decent, but he's just a badass Samoan, and that's what Roman Reigns should have been.
Cena said it best in their feud leading into No Mercy, where he said, "People don't like you because you're a corporately created John Cena ripoff." He screams corporately created.
Mm-hmm.
People don't like to be told who to like.
Right.
They don't like things being
That's why
pushed.
people love Stone Cold so much, because he's against what the authority was.
Stone Cold and The Rock, when the Rock finally went over,
Yes.
was so organic.
It was.
It just happened. Stone Cold was a mid-carder.
Mm-hmm.
Stone Cold was the ringmaster with the $1 million belt. And all of a
The
sudden
Rock was a Rocky Maivia, and he may have been predestined, but they let it happen.
I don't know. There was
But he had the bloodlines. That was the thing.
but these things happened on their own. It wasn't shoved down your damn throat.
That was my point. Right.
I can't. Anyway,
This guy was organic.
He was.
Mr. Shawn Michaels. Thank you,
was.
Mike, for this birthday gift, by the way.
who would have thought?
Consavi. Mike Velarde didn't give me anything. But anyway, yeah, this guy right here started off in a great tag team. At least fun tag
I
team.
like you taking shots at DJ McVillardy on the show.
Oh yeah, I take shots at everybody on the show. This guy right here, and then Barbershop Window with this breakup of Marty Jannetty was so perfect and so well executed and written, and everything from there was, like you said, it was organic and it flowed, and he went on to be one of the best of all time, Mr. WrestleMania. These things don't happen in WWE anymore. It's this guy, look at this guy in the Indies. He could be something big, or look at this guy in NXT that we're bringing through our system and we're training him to be the next big thing, whether you like it or not. And we have no say. We no matter how hard we cheer or how much we boo, we honestly have no say. And that is what is so frustrating.
Even though they keep telling you, "Oh, it's all you guys. You guys
it's the WWE
decide."
universe.
Please.
All they want is your $9.99 a month.
And James Minnock, it's too late though. The women and kids love him. Never be heel.
True. I can see that.
So fast forward, we're going to the Royal Rumble this weekend again. Everybody's getting forward to it. Hopefully, it's one of the big four.
Until those kids are teenagers, then maybe.
There's 4 championship matches that night. We'll touch on these a little bit briefly. Okay. Here's a match that I can't imagine the Usos lose. Usos against Chad Gable, Shelton Benjamin for the SmackDown tag titles. It's 2 out of 3 falls. Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin is just an awkward tag team. Yeah. I don't see that making sense
I completely agree
with belts. I think the Usos, this is like another, put the Usos over type thing.
They make sense as a tag team, but they're an awkward tag team. I know exactly what you mean, but it's the same, the wrestling gimmick and whatnot.
Yeah.
But how much do you care about that match on a scale of 1 to 10?
3.
Okay, I'll be more than I was going to say.
Well, just because I hope it gets done.
You know what sucks?
I'll be going to the bathroom.
How awesome were the tag titles from when they originated until about 2002, 2003?
Just a live update. Don't look.
Okay.
I just got an update from Brian Hess of the score of the Flyers game. Do you want to take a guess what it is?
4-0 Tampa.
3-0. Not bad.
Okay.
Not bad.
All right.
Jay got a
playing you this week.
Jay got a DUI. I guess he can't be in the XFL.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I think the Usos win the match. I just don't care about the outcome.
By the way, we'll touch on the XFL later.
Absolutely. Seth Rollins, Jason Jordan defend the tag titles from Raw against Sheamus and Cesaro. Number one, I'm over Rollins and Jordan. I don't think it makes sense. Number two, I'm over Sheamus and Cesaro. I don't like that either.
Another faction
I don't want to watch
awkward and just put it together because they had no other idea what to do with these people. And it's a shame because Cesaro is talented.
Doesn't happen all the time. It's true. They have no clue what to do. They just...
Let's take a really talented guy that can't talk on the mic, so we have to do something with him. And let's take a guy who sucks in the ring but has an okay gimmick, and let's put them together because we have no idea what to do with them if they don't have them together.
Cesaro needs to be a Paul Heyman guy. I've said that. That
lasted 2 days.
He needs to stick.
It's never going to happen.
But he could do it.
I don't know. I don't know if it's... He's a fan favorite now.
Mouthpiece. That's what he is.
Okay, but every single time somebody comes up that can't talk on the mic, it's the automatic response is, put him with Heyman. How about what happened to the guys like Jim Cornette, Harvey Whippleman? How about those guys that used to be in that role? Why can't we get more guys like that anymore? Why can't we get a woman manager to come back? Or not come back, but just create one. We need somebody that can talk a little bit, that is interesting.
They stuck Dana Brooke in the Titus Worldwide thing. Makes no sense.
Well, that, yes.
WWE Championship, AJ Styles in this really weird match where he's going up against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I don't know who thought of that. I think it's dumb. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of it is dumb. I think Styles wins. Now, Styles winning could foreshadow things that happen in the Rumble match, for sure.
Yes.
But I just don't think Owens and Zayn, they're co-champions. No.
Don't put it past them.
Yeah.
God forbid, but don't put it past them.
You know what? It might be too dumb for them.
No. I don't think anything's too dumb for them, to be honest with you. It sucks.
Universal title match again. A Philly Royal Rumble with a WWE Championship match, 3-way. Mm-hmm. Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, and Kane.
Which is not even going to be close to the magnitude of Lesnar, Cena, and Rollins.
Yeah, that was such a great match.
Fantastic.
But everyone wants to know why the hell Kane's in this match. I think it's pretty damn clear why Kane's in this match.
Because he's tall.
No, so that Lesnar can pin Kane and not Strowman.
Ooh.
I
never thought about that.
They don't want Strowman to go down to Lesnar. So by having Lesnar beat Kane, who doesn't care and isn't relevant, they keep Braun elevated.
Okay. I see that.
That is the only reason why this is a triple threat match.
But they'll have him lose to Roman Reigns.
Where would they lose to Roman Reigns? That's company policy.
Right. Somebody said on Twitter today, I forget who it was, they had a rumor of who Strowman was going to face at WrestleMania. Did you happen to see that?
Yeah.
I didn't see it, so I'm asking you.
Well, I think the rumor was The Miz.
Oh, Christ almighty.
So I don't know. Is it no DQ? Justin, I'm not really sure. It might be. I don't know. Again, I just think
everything's no DQ anymore. Especially when it's a match like this, when you have monsters that can do cool things like throw people through tables.
They need something for Lesnar to do up until WrestleMania. This is what they gave him. He'll pin Kane.
And you won't see him again until WrestleMania.
Yeah. So those are the matches. So main events, the Rumble matches. We'll start with the men's. A lot of different things can happen here as far as who can win. So I guess here's my take.
Okay.
Not to take any of your thunder, and I don't know if we agree on this or a lot. But
yes, Joe, bring back the Harper title. That would be fun.
There are only 3 guys that make sense to win the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
And I'm going to put them in the order of which I think they're going to make sense.
Okay.
Number 1 is Shinsuke Nakamura. I say that because if Styles keeps the WWE Championship, they've been building towards this Styles-Nakamura thing for a while, and I think it kind of goes with the idea of they're still trying to piggyback off this New Japan Pro Wrestling with an Alpha Omega, and that was a match there. And everyone's clamoring for it, right?
Right.
So How do you set that up? Well, Nakamura wins the match, challenges AJ for the title.
Does nothing for me. Sorry. I don't care about
no,
that
I disagree with. I mean, I think it'll be a great match. I don't think you need Nakamura to win to make it happen.
As another guy that is no good on the mic. I understand there's a language barrier, but I don't. There was a language barrier. No, there wasn't a language barrier, but there was a supposed language barrier with Yokozuna, and it worked.
Banzai.
Yeah. He had Mr. Fuji to talk. Everything was fantastic with that. Nakamura needs somebody in his corner. No, not Paul Heyman. He needs somebody that can talk. And here's the thing. I hate the fact or the idea of having two baby faces go at it at WrestleMania for the title. I hate that idea. Seriously. I mean, I don't... Nakamura doesn't do anything for me.
Well, listen, not for anything. I'm going to take you back here.
Okay.
That happened at WrestleMania 6.
It did.
And that was a pretty big match.
Right.
So, if done right, it can work.
But I'm not comparing
No,
Shinsuke Nakamura
neither,
and AJ
no,
Styles.
neither am I. No, neither am I, but I'm
I'm
just saying, you can make that work.
You could, but it's not going to get me out of my seat, and oh God, I have to be here for this match. It'll probably be a good technical wrestling match.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yes.
But the build up to
Spots.
it would be so boring unless one of them turned heel.
I agree with you entirely on that one. My second guy, for obvious reasons, is Roman Reigns.
Okay.
Because they've been building towards Brock and Reigns winning the belt all year. They have kept. They're the two guys that they've kept completely apart.
I don't know if you've thought of this. I don't know if anybody watching has thought of this, but what if they had Reigns win it, but he turns heel in the process? I didn't get over it in Philly as a face the first time. Okay, well, I'm going to get over as a heel this time and win it. That would be cool.
No, that makes sense to me, but that's not
right.
Now,
I would be okay with it if only if that happened. If he's going to be a babyface again and win the Royal Rumble, please, I might as well stop watching wrestling.
My third guy is a potential surprise entrant.
Okay.
Brian Hess, no. As much as I would lose my mind if Cult of Personality hits and I'm not there, I'm going to be upset about it. Woo. But it's not going to happen. I've resigned myself to the fact that's not going to happen. My third guy, who's the third man? Who is the third man? The third man that makes sense to me to win the Royal Rumble is none other than Daniel Bryan. And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
So, there's been speculation for a very, very long time that WWE will not clear Bryan. There's talk that might have happened.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
I have not heard that.
Here's the thing. We are in a brand extension world where winning the Royal Rumble gives you a championship match at WrestleMania. But it doesn't specifically say which championship. So, I happen to know that Daniel Bryan has had this long-standing rivalry with The Miz.
All over the mic, too.
Really well done.
Yeah.
And The Miz just won a championship.
This has been building for like 2 years now.
So, from a storyline perspective, Mr. Marella.
Yes, Mr. Attard.
I would propose to you that it makes perfect sense for Daniel Bryan to come out at number 30, for the crowd to go wild, for Daniel Bryan to win the match, and then say, you know what? I want to face The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania.
That'd be awesome.
And that's your blow-off top to that rivalry that's like slow burn.
And it will work, too, because when Daniel Bryan retired, he retired as the IC champion.
Absolutely. And
everything there lines up, makes sense. That's something I would be excited about. Both of them are really good on the mic. Both of them are really good wrestlers. Yes, please. You
can still have Reigns Lesnar. You can still have Nakamura Styles. But that's what he wants.
Yeah.
So you get the best of all three. That, to me, would be my third guy.
Okay.
I know you have some dark horses.
I do. And I need dark horses.
You go right ahead. Blow them out.
Numero uno. We talked about him earlier with John Cena. Elias.
Ooh.
Elias is my dark horse to win the Royal Rumble. And I think it's a year early.
That's a push.
But Tell me you guys wouldn't be surprised if Elias won the Royal Rumble. Lesnar, though, that's the only thing.
See, right.
It might be a bit too early, but I'm not counting it out because I know how well WWE thinks of it.
But he could also go over to SmackDown and take on
That's true.
Styles.
Yeah, with the whole brand split, anything can happen, which kind of takes the fun away from it because you never know what to anticipate, not in a good way.
Yeah.
Second, I already mentioned Chris Jericho.
If they're taking out, NJPW, I mean, that's not a bad idea.
What about, and I know you already said this, not going to happen, but what if they go with Kenny Omega?
To win their Royal Rumble.
It would be so, if it were to happen, this has been the most hush-hush I've ever seen WWE on.
Yeah,
But I wouldn't rule it out. There's a reason why Jericho went over. There's a reason why Jericho said this is his last match in NJPW, whether it is or not.
I would love to see it.
That would be really...
I would love to see it. I don't think that's in the cards now. I guess I'll say. I feel as though Omega's real happy in New Japan with the Bullet Club, with, the Young Bucks doing his thing, the Elite.
Then you come over here, start that faction with the Bullet Club, with the Balor Club. And that could be a thing rolling into WrestleMania, and it would be fire. It really would be.
Do you have any surprise? Now, my surprise entrant, which we haven't mentioned yet, and the last couple of years, AJ Styles came out at 3. 3 is an interesting number, I think, in this Royal Rumble, because wouldn't it just make some amazing sense for Ethan Carter III to make his debut at the 3 spot?
Absolutely.
So, for those of you who don't know, his TNA contract's up. I'm pretty sure he's already signed a WWE.
He has signed a WWE.
This guy is a main event guy. He was with WWE before. They didn't use him very well, and that's fine. And that's all well and good.
Typical.
But they got it back. So, I think that makes some perfect sense at the 3rd spot. If it's going to be so obvious that Ty Dillinger comes out at 10 last year, I think EC3 comes out at 3, and it's good.
And you know what? How about this? Jeremy Beland. Excellent point. Batista.
I could see that.
Apparently, he really wants to come back, and he's literally been the one talking to WWE, saying, "Hey, I want to come back.
I can see that.
I can see that, and I can also see him winning, unfortunately. But that's not one of my dark horses.
Oh God, again? Oh.
Could you imagine that?
Oh.
Please spare me.
Daniel Blakey, Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley.
That was my guy. I was going to say Bobby Lashley. Really, talk about wasted talent.
Yeah.
Mike Skill's okay.
Yeah.
Phenomenal physique.
Yeah.
And just actually really athletic for as big as he is.
Yep.
That's a guy that they really should have pushed when they had the opportunity.
Dan Baker says James Storm backstage at Raw25. James Storm was in NXT for a match. He kind of thought that was going somewhere, but it really hasn't.
I didn't even think of him.
Yeah.
No. I'm not even talking about. I'm talking about what Mike and Savi just said.
Bobby Roode to win the Rumble? I don't see it. He just won a belt. He's U.S. champion.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That means nothing to me.
I don't know.
But yeah, no.
I'm a big Rude guy.
Yeah.
I came out to a wedding to Glorious, so I do it all the time.
Yes, you did. I was there.
So that's, I think, for the men's side. Again, we'll see where that goes. For the women's, I think there's really only 2 people that can win this match.
Johnny Morrison again.
There's only 2 people that can win this match. I think the obvious one is Asuka. That sets up Asuka versus Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania.
Yep.
We're all used to that.
Yep.
My surprise entrant, which would be great, and Joe Gonzalez has beat me to it, Ronda Rousey.
Everybody's beating us to it.
Ronda Rousey! Ronda Rousey! Could you imagine if she comes out? First of all, the crowd's going to go nuts. That's going to be huge.
By the way, I heard that a lot of the UFC girls are not happy with her at all.
What does she care?
She doesn't.
I think she's done at the UFC. I think that part of her life's over.
It should be.
Which is fine.
I feel like in their brains beating.
She was a wrestling fan growing up. It's the natural progression for her. I could see her winning the Rumble, absolutely. There are reports that she hasn't signed yet, that she's going to go do a movie. I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. And Dan Bacon's taking the words out of my mouth. Rousey versus Charlotte at WrestleMania, imagine that. That's where I'm going with.
That would be fantastic.
For the championship.
And then, not only that, but when Rousey beats Charlotte at WrestleMania, Rousey versus Asuka. That would be awesome. That would be gold. Literally, that would catapult the women's division, bar none.
Savior Becky Lynch will win and face Charlotte. Not opposed to that. She's probably the only other person that makes any sense.
Becky Lynch?
Yeah. But I think there's some other things that make some sense there. But I think if you're going,
I think if anything,
if you're going SmackDown side and Rousey doesn't win, that's your girl.
Really? Okay. You don't think Sasha?
No. I think that's.
I haven't done a whole lot with her lately.
Yeah, but she's on Raw. I think that I think it's pretty clear that they're going with Asuka, Bliss somehow, some way. I don't think it's Sasha.
Okay.
My surprise women, I mentioned Rousey.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can definitely see Trish Stratus in this match. I think you can definitely see Lita in this match. And if you remember a couple years ago in the Rumble, I know Stephanie McMahon is doing announcing, but that's not to say she can't be number 30 and just go right to the ring.
No.
So,
I can see that music coming on.
Absolutely. There was the 1 year where JBL was in the Rumble and Cole was in the Rumble and Lawler was in the Rumble.
Yeah.
So I could totally see that. But again, for me, Conor McGregor,
ooh.
guys, we hope so. But
that would be cool.
They would go nuts.
That would be awesome.
That would also make me regret my
Floyd coming out. That would be
29 and 30.
Yep.
Oh, boy. So, again, that's where we are with the Rumble right now.
Shit show.
We got a couple minutes left in the show, and I just want to touch on, we mentioned some Rumble memories from it. You know what happens? Guys, I tell people to come on the show. An hour goes by quick.
It does.
We start talking about things
that you guys enjoyed it.
that you have a passion for.
To come in the weeks.
Absolutely. So, my favorite Rumble memories.
Okay.
Here we go.
Guys, I want to hear yours in the box.
Yeah, really.
So type in, please.
I made a little bit of a list here of things that really stood out to me.
Mm-hmm.
1990. Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior and the stare down. And they were, again, kept separate. Which is that's what they were going to do.
Yep.
And it wasn't until you saw that you started thinking, oh man, we've never seen these guys battle before.
Yeah.
And that led into WrestleMania 6, title for title, the Ultimate Challenge.
Should do that more often.
They should do a lot of things more often. 92, Flair wins the belt. The championship Royal Rumble. Loved it. You loved it. 1994, a couple different things stood out for me. Bret Hart and Lex Luger. I know that's one of yours.
Actually, it's not.
No.
No.
Really? Okay. I know you're a Bret Hart mark. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was a fantastic Rumble.
Yeah.
The whole entire match. The whole entire show.
And they timed it right.
Yes, they did.
You know?
And you know what? Luger really deserved a push there.
Yeah.
At that time.
But people forget that was Yokozuna and the Undertaker at that Royal Rumble when everybody came out and they buried the Undertaker and they had that thing the casket match.
That's what I mean. It was a fantastic show.
Very, very well done. 99, McMahon wins. Which was, it's memorable because it was dumb.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm going to go ahead when you're done and kind of go before that.
Okay. John Cena surprise entrance at the Garden in 08 at 30.
God,
everybody, no one saw that coming. And memorable to me because I can't get it out of my mind is Reigns winning in Philly in 14.
Oh, please, guys, horrendous. So here are mine. Obviously. I think we had to talk about it. 88, Jim Duggan winning the first ever Royal Rumble. That kind of kickstarted this whole thing. And you know what, guys? Other than WrestleMania, this is the biggest show.
I would agree. Yeah, I think it's really...
Survivor Series is kind of fallen by the wayside. They don't do much with it anymore. And SummerSlam is kind of like, wow, we haven't had anything in so long. I can't wait for a big-time pay-per-view.
Brian Hess says Vince McMahon's never been eliminated from the Royal Rumble. Neither is Curtis Axel.
That's right. That is right. that was actually funny. That was one of his better things.
Oh, that was fun. We were there for that. It was good. But go ahead. I apologize.
97. Stone Cold Steve Austin wins his first Rumble, and he cheated, and it was awesome because he walked out of that ring like, "Ha, I got you guys." And Bret Hart was taking a fit in the ring, beating up the refs. It was fantastic. At the time, Hart was literally he was a maniac for the belt. That's all he wanted. Right before his send-off to WCW. But Austin winning that belt and him coming out with that smirk on his face like, ha, got one over on you guys again.
That was so good back then.
2000, The Rock. One of my favorite matches of all time, Triple H versus Cactus Jack for the title, the street fight. Absolutely fantastic. Rock actually made a cameo in that one. He also won the Rumble, eliminating the Big Show. That was when both their feet, they think Rock's feet touched first. Wound up having what was a horrible main event at WrestleMania 2000 with Cactus Jack.
The Fatal 4-Way.
Mick Foley, yeah.
Dumb.
That horrible. Anyway, that was a fantastic match. That also was when Hardys faced the Dudleys in a table match.
That's right.
Which set up this whole TLC thing with WrestleMania 17 with Edge and Christian involved. But that kind of was the send-off there, or that jump-started, I should say. And then 2007, HBK, where he gets eliminated, and he was so disappointed because he wanted to face Taker at WrestleMania and be the one that broke the streak, which, again, led to probably the best match of all time, as many say. And then 2016, AJ Styles comes in WWE.
That was a great... That was...
Triple H wins the belt, as Ric Flair did in 92, by winning the Royal Rumble. We all saw that coming from a million miles away. But AJ Styles, third entrant, I believe.
Yeah, number 3. Awesome. No, it was well done. Very well done. Suzanne Morel with a woo!
Thanks, Mom.
Love that. So that wraps it up, guys. If the debut edition of Ringside Seat, Sports Talk Wrestling. Listen, Wrestling Talk on the Sports Box.
When you're done. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So again, we want to thank our sponsor, Dave Birnbaum, Buy with Burn, Remax Community.
Do it.
Anything you want to do in South Jersey, buy, rent, sell, whatever, anything with housing, give Dave a call, 856-524-2927, hashtag Buy with Burn. I want to thank everybody for watching our debut show. Keep an eye out the night of the Rumble. What we're planning to do, if we can swing it, is we're going to go live on YouTube right at the end of the Rumble, give immediate reactions to everything that we just seen. We're going to have everybody from the Sports Box at the show. Mike Galetta's going to be there. Mike Velarde's going to be there. Brian Hess is going to be there.
And we'll probably all be disappointed.
We're all going to be pissed the hell off, so you're going to want to watch the show because it's going to be stupid.
Is Tom Kelly going to be there?
Tom Kelly! I got to work on that.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see. But anyway.
He might not be good for the baby.
You had a point before we break?
Yes, Mike Consalvi. I have to mention this because we were at a Rumble, actually the year Chris Benoit won.
Is that 04?
Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was in 8th grade or something.
Okay.
But we all went, and this was when Taker was on his hiatus, and we were like, it would be awesome if Old School Undertaker came back. I'm not joking. We were saying this about a month leading up to it. We said it again that night, and next thing you know, the lights went out. We thought it was just like a technical error. We were like, what the hell happened? Because nothing happened right away, and the next thing you know, dong. And the lights came back on. And we're like, oh my God, what was that? We were literally just talking about it. One of my favorite wrestling, and definitely one of my favorite Royal Rumble moments of all time. Thanks for that, Mike. Fantastic memories. Love it.
So again, that is the end of the show. We appreciate the support, guys. We'll again keep an eye out for Sunday night after the Rumble. We'll try to get some sort of post-Rumble show again.
Tell your wrestling friends.
And we'll go from there. Again, this is the debut show, Ringside Seat, Sports Box Wrestling Talk. Hope to see you again.
Oh, we're going to see you again. And tell your wrestling friends, even though we all have the same wrestling friends.
And if you're not down with that, we have 2 words for you, but we'll let you think about what they might think.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or rent in the South Jersey area, give Dave Birnbaum a call with Remax Community, 856-524-2927, and buy with Burn.
One, two, three.
Don't forget to subscribe.